community, for the collective. For those who feel heaviness and weight, there's a lot of stagnant energy that sits on the shoulders, almost like an armor. And the armor is heavy on the body. You feel it on the shoulders, you feel it against the chest. And the spirits are just speaking about this heaviness that we carry as burdens, this heavy armor, this rigidness in our thinking, the limitations that we have about ourselves, and how, like armor, we are wearing it and it is heavy. And removing armor requires genuinely and honestly just being willing to do things differently and to try things in a different way. You've tried it your way, you've tried it the heavy way, and now it's time to try a light way, and to take things easy, and to be easy with yourself, and to be gentle with yourself. It's very important to be grounded in something real, to be grounded in something true. We're just speaking about something about the foundation, something about the soil, something about the container of your life. How important it is to heal at the roots, to heal at the root chakra, to heal at the sacral chakra, to heal at the solar plexus. There's just heavy energies sitting in the lower chakras, Himayas, that need to be addressed and cleared. Some issues that are sitting in our lower chakras is how we navigate and walk around in this world, how we think we're supposed to be, how we think we're supposed to walk, how we think we're supposed to navigate this place that was formed and has all of this structure, this very modern place. And in your roots, you are thinking that you have to walk a certain way and follow the lines and follow the orders. Yes. And the importance of questioning. Makhosi. The importance of really observing the environment and the structures and the way that things were placed together, and not just following and accepting, but observing and seeing it for what it really is. Makhosi. And letting go of this idea that you have to follow this framework and this order. There are frameworks and orders and things that have been created that can be used as tools. Yes. You have to maintain your energy in order to use a tool effectively. You cannot let the tool and the technology change your essence. You must allow your essence to help you navigate the tools and the places and the structures. Another issue that is in our lower chakras is how we are understanding energy and nature. Yes. And what the point of of nature is, and our connection to nature, and spending time with nature. And now we want to, we hear so much about just spending time in nature and going for walks. Um, but it is time to practice the frequency of nature. So, really feeling the energy of a tree, and what a tree feels like, and what it feels to touch the tree, and just meditatively, mindfully communing with these energies. And not only when you are outside in nature, but when you are not in nature and you are just praying or meditating in the house, you can imagine the tree and imagine coming into your vision all of how the tree looks like, or the river, or the fish, or whatever it is in nature that you want to commune with, whatever deity it is, or whatever spiritual guide. Just practicing looking at, formulating these images in our minds, or allowing these images to come through, and just looking at them. It is very, very powerful to stare and observe and look at something. Yes, to notice the color of something, to notice the structure of something and how it was made, and what it feels like, and what it feels like for you to be looking at this object, and for what this object seems to, what it's like for this object to look at you. And this is how you really start to commune with something. It's like you start to feel into it, you start to imagine it, you start to, this is how you also heighten your senses. Yes, this is how you heighten your senses, is to start to understand how things feel. How do I feel when I am meditating, and what sensations are there, and or when I feel a presence, where in my body do I feel it? And just really acknowledging and affirming these feelings, and allowing the energies to flow, and allowing yourself to just have an experience. This concept of surrender is something that we are expressing and talking about a lot. And surrender is very much connected to just allowing things to be, allowing yourself to feel things, and then allowing yourself to shift things. And so many people question their connection, and question their, if they're really feeling, and if they're really seeing. Um, and it's something that you can only just practice and learn. But in order to learn, you have to notice, you have to study, you have to record, you have to pay attention. Because with spirit, you're not just receiving information in a book, you're receiving information as you are living your life. And many things are happening, many synchronicities, the order in which things are happening, the timing in which we are finding things out and interacting with certain people. This is all information that, we analyze on a spiritual level. And we need to compare notes. Yes. Many of us are having experiences, and we would feel more affirmed if we were to listen to each other's experiences. Yes! And if we were more accepting of each other's experiences. You! Accepting that other people are going to have different experiences and different connections. I'm also speaking, we also want to speak about our push for certain changes in the world. and how we want to figure things out, and we want to bring justice, and we want to make things right. Yeah. And just sometimes this desire for making things right and making things changed in this world, it gets you into a problem-solving mindset or process in which you're trying to figure out answers for the world through your opinions and through your beliefs and through your theories and through your structures and concepts. And it is not allowing space for answers the soul, or answers from the higher realms, or answers from God. I'm not saying that activists aren't divinely guided or inspired. I'm just saying that sometimes the processes in which we make decisions, and in which the conclusions in which we come to solve problems in the world are too heavily focused on the physical way that we see problems solved. When problems are being solved on a physical level and on a spiritual level. And there's just this extremity, and we feel a push. We're pushing for certain things to happen, and we feel a resistance, and a pushback from society. It's almost like we are engaged in many different schools of thoughts. There's many different schools of thought and spiritual practice. And the spirits are just bringing forth the fact that we have always had many, many different technologies. We've had the philosophers, we've had the activists, we've had the mathematicians, we've had the herbalists, we've had so many ways of discovering and understanding things. We've had understandings of shapes and symbols and energies. We've had many technologies. And so sometimes the way that we are approaching changing this world, we are relying on the smallest technologies. Yes, when we have even more sophisticated technologies for solving problems. Which requires tapping into spirit, or tapping into the ancient, or tapping into other ways of knowing besides just the normal tools that we tend to pick up. So if there's all these other technologies, and ancient technologies and modern technologies, and if we don't spend enough time cultivating, giving time, investing time into understanding those technologies as well, then we won't at times feel like we have the whole solution to our experiences. Makhosi. One of the technologies that the ancestors are bringing forth is rocks and stones. The information that we receive through stones. And not just stones in the sense of crystals and gemstones, but the large stones and figures that are in the earth and that create mountainous regions, or just rocky cave-like spaces, and the information in stones, and the spaces on the earth that are vibrating at high frequencies of knowledge and wisdom is connected to the stones, the stone structures, the stone people, the temples and the spaces that were made of stone. There are many spirits that are waiting to communicate with us. that are waiting for us to listen to what they have to share. Yes, information, stories, experiences, memories, perspectives. Yes! There are many spirits that are wanting to communicate different perspectives and different ways of thinking and observing things. The spiritual world is very much like a school and a university where many different beings are sharing information. Yes! And there are many who await or who are already in the process of communicating with us. Yes! And, we speak a lot about coming to the spirits with respect, but even more than that, or in better words, the spirits want to be approached with discipline. Um, Approached with a scholarly demeanor. Yes. Like, I have accepted my spiritual path and I am a scholar of this wisdom teaching or this temple or this science or this field, and I am taking this seriously, and I am taking time to invest in this and discover this. And I'm taking time to learn. When we were in school, as anxious as we were to do things with our lives, a part of us had to accept that we were taking this time to learn and be patient with not always having the opportunity to apply and use what we learn out in the world yet, but that we are taking time to learn and experiment and collect information. Yes. And though we are doing both at the same time, we are learning and we are living and we are using the spirits are just speaking about how to approach the spiritual realm, how to approach these spirits that want to share information. You must be willing to be a learner and a scholar. Makhosi, and a student who is taking herself and himself or they seriously. Makhosi. Yes. This requires, a lot of patience. You must be willing to wait in a way that you know that you're already in the door. Some of us are waiting as if we are outside of the school and we're trying to knock the door in. And so we feel impatient because we just want to be inside. Yes, as opposed to a waiting in a demeanor of which that you are already in the school and you already have access to the information and you are in the process. You are in the process. Yes. So I'm connecting with just the ancestors and I'm seeing what they want us to know right now. They're just showing me if you can imagine, in times where there were villages and huts and things about, just imagine people building and working on a hut or building and working on a part of the village and the flooring or just the process of building, and how some of our ancestors build in very, very conscious ways. Like they build things in certain shapes, or they build things with certain shapes in mind. Yes, they build things with, just a consciousness about what these spaces were going to be used for, and the many ways that they can be used to make sure that there's a balance and a harmony in the environment, in the community. So conscious building very consciously with intention, paying attention to how we're going about doing things. Yes, we don't always have to have all of the answers, but or know every detail, but as long as you are being intentional and that you're paying attention to the pieces. Sometimes we feel like we're doing things and we have certain strengths and certain weaknesses, and sometimes it's like there's nothing we can do about our weaknesses, and we just got to keep pushing forward. And it's like, acknowledging the weaknesses, acknowledging the things that we're not as good at or we don't know as much about, just an acknowledgement that, like, yeah, I need this piece too, and I may not know it. I'm intentional about it. I'm not just overlooking and just running in a certain direction without paying attention to all of the pieces that need to come together for this to be successful. Yes. They're also talking about how sometimes we feel like we're spending too much time learning or creating something. Yes. And the importance of letting that go, because the ancestors know how much time it takes to really develop and build, and the intricacies and the beauty, and it's good. They want to remind us that it's good to spend time with things and to allow things to be built for as long as it is necessary and takes, and to not let ourselves feel like we're taking too long, yes, to make this happen. Things can happen quickly and things can happen over many years in time. Either way, be devoted and take your time putting in time into, what you're working on. Yes. Makhosi. All right. So these are the messages that I am seeing coming forth at this time for us as a collective and a community. If you would like for me to bring more collective messages, feel free to send the feedback and comments or even questions that benefit us all. Thank you. I give thanks to the divine spirits for allowing me to be a channel. I give thanks for the messages and the wisdom and the visions. I give thanks for their constant, forever devotion to us, their children, their allies. I give thanks for all of the forces of the earth, the air, the fire, and the water, the deities, the grandmothers, the grandfathers.